I'm back, brothers and sisters. I'm back, brothers and sisters. Yeah. So what I was talking about was the one politician who said, she wanted $100 billion for black people reparations. Listen, that's nothing. That's nothing. When you think about what black people have done in this country. And some would say you need to forget what happened. Slavery was a long time ago. Listen, you talking about 246 years of chattel slavery, 100 years of Jim Crow. It's just now, since the 60s, that we have some semblance of freedom. Some semblance of freedom. That's recent. What about the 100 years of Jim Crow? What about the red line? What about that? What about the segregation? What about being locked out of schools, locked out of jobs, locked out of prosperity, locked out of the pursuit of happiness? What about the sharecropping that was done? What about the theft? Man, you was selling babies. You was raping women. You was selling babies, raping women, lynching people. From 1865 to 1868, the whole lynching century, you lynching people. But black people don't need reparations. You gave it to the Japanese. You've given it to the indigenous in various forms. You even gave it to some people. You didn't even have anything to do with that war. You have done this and set a precedent. But when it comes to black people, asking one of these poo-butt candidates, do what you think about reparations. I don't think we should have reparations. Now you're a progressive, you're a socialist, democratic socialist, you all this, right? You talking big and bad, ain't sure how you gonna pay for nothing. But then when you ask a question, well, what about reparations for black people and the black agenda specifically? You say, mom's the word, you ain't got nothing to say. You say, well, I don't want that. I don't believe that's possible. I thought in America anything was possible. Y'all ain't doing nothing but printing up money anyway. Hypocrisy. And in addition, brothers and sisters, you understand too that there should be reparations for the hundreds of years of chattel slavery. There should be reparations for what happened during 100 years of Jim Crow and then the era of mass incarceration. You understand, through convict leasing, since that time after chattel slavery, and understand they would re-enslave black people and had them working on chain gangs throughout the South, oftentimes on trumped up charges, cruel and unusual punishment. Working for the railroads, working in mines, oftentimes working in conditions that were comparable to slavery. As a matter of fact, under the 13th Amendment, you can be enslaved. You can be enslaved if you commit a crime. What do you think Angola is in Louisiana? That's slavery. When you look at these hellish prisons around the country, you're talking about Rikers Island. When you look at these hellish prisons that we are in, and you look at who's there, you roughly 12 to 14% of the population and over 50% in the prisons and the jails. What's the moral state of the union? They went from making money off of us on the plantation to making money off of us in these privatized prisons. Was it not Harris who mentioned the fact, as far as the prisons in California's prisons galore? That was an issue with closing prisons because they needed the labor. Somebody fact check that on, or what's that one? Let's read, let's go to Isaiah, the 42nd chapter. Because what's the moral state of the union? Because it's obvious that it's a particular people whom you have targeted for your prisons. But when it comes for nonviolent drug offenses, and I'm not advocating somebody go out there and sell dope and sell anything illegal. I would never do that. But what I will say, when it comes to the dominant culture, when it comes to Europeans, now it's an issue of a health issue. This is in thinkprogress.com. California Attorney General Kamala Harris told Think Progress to parole more prisoners would drain the state's source of cheap labor. Understand who you think is gonna be your savior. That's just like you got those prisoners. The prisoners was out there risking their lives fighting them California fighters. Hey, you fight, you work one day, we'll take one day off your sentence, but you risking your life out there. You go to these places where you got these dispensaries and you can make millions of dollars, make a good living off of selling marijuana, and you got all these brothers locked up for selling marijuana, which is, quite frankly, a consequence of urban economic destitution. Most people that's selling drugs are not making money. Most people that are selling drugs are not making a lot of money. They're making money to survive. But see, you want to vote for her. The same one who, no, let me say this. The same one, say two things. First, the same one that said you need to come to school. Again, you need to educate your children. Let me say that. I'm not even saying necessarily you need to send them to public schools. You need to educate your children. But nevertheless, when you had all these instances of truancy, her issue was, okay, you got truant parents, put them in jail. But this was black people. Put them in jail. As if that's going to help the situation. We're going to put you in jail. We tough on crime. So we don't want to get rid of our cheap labor. We don't want parole. We don't get rid of our cheap labor. And we won't put you in jail. But you talking about some Wakanda forever. You dancing to Cardi B, trying to relate. We know good and damn well you're not at home dancing to no Cardi B. See, let's bring it out. Foolishness. Wakanda forever, dancing to Cardi B, talking about you wear Converse, talking about Fight Dog from Tribe Called Quest. Man, give me a break. And on top of that, Kamala, we think that's a what we think? She black. Her mother, that's an Indian name. You understand that, right? Her mom was from India. That's who raised her. Her father is Jamaican. But it's not necessary. He could have been an Indian Jamaican. They don't even know. But I read in one article, or saw an article, he was talking about his ancestors owned slaves in Jamaica. So wait a minute. That's what you say because she went to Howard and because she looks a certain way, you want to vote for her. What's the substance? What's the policy? So that's what I'm saying. You play a political game, but still your spiritual situation is the same. You thinking somebody gonna come save you. Obama didn't save you. Whoever they pick in the office next, whether it be the incumbent or whether it be somebody else, they are not going to save you. They're not going to save you. But they put those people out in front of you and talk crazy to you, and you think, this person you think the same foolishness every 4 years. Every 4 years. When you don't see these, I've seen politicians in my area. I was watching, man, who came to this area? He lost too. Anyway, it was a disgrace. But anyway, he got up and told the people, now this is a white man now, and he lost, but he told a room full of Negro. I wasn't there, I was watching it. I wouldn't be caught up. I was watching. He told them, you better go out there, like talking to them like children, very paternalistic. They should be like, hold on, Chief, what's your program for us? See, they ain't giving us nothing. They ain't giving us nothing. You think welfare is something? That's not, even though understand, provisions for the poor has its place. Don't get me wrong. The Bible tells you that. But at the same time, the way they set up welfare and what it did to our families, it ruined the family. It toppled our families. It incentivized having children out of wedlock. It incentivized putting the man out of the home. That's what the welfare state did to us. That was not good, brothers and sisters. That was not good. I don't even know if I read this or not. Let me go back to this. This 25% of the earth's prisoners and this high rate. So they targeting our people. But the Bible tells you, Isaiah 42 and verse 18, it says, hear ye deaf and look ye blind. Well, hold on, I'm going to skip down to verse 22. It says, but this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes, and they are hid in prison houses. They are for a prey and none delivered, for a spoil and none saith restore. See, that's our condition. But that says something about the moral state. When you got one people, you can say, well, that's those people that do it. Listen, most people in jail for nonviolent drug offenses. Blacks, whites, and Latinos use and sell drugs. I'm going to say that again. Blacks, whites, and Latinos use and sell drugs roughly at the same rate. But who ends up incarcerated? Negroes end up incarcerated. And then up under them, Latinos and them whites. Why? Because they target us. They occupy our communities. They protect other affluent communities. I'm going to say that again. We don't own, as Huey Newton said, we don't own property. So what property are they protecting when they're in our communities? A lot of times, I'll give you an example of this. If you ever see, you go to a place where it's a shopping district, you will see the police there. You know what the police are there doing? Making sure everybody can continue shopping. So they are there to keep that money flowing. They will sit parked out there and they won't be, but when they're in our community, they setting speed traps. They writing citations, they writing tickets. Go to any government building where it's black people, and you're gonna see all these white people that come there working, and you're gonna see black people coming in and out of there paying fines, going to court. Why? Because look what they did in Ferguson in the investigation they had there. That's what they do to black communities. So they occupy black communities. And therefore they police black community. I've been on a college campus. Lived on a college campus. You want to see some drug abuse? You want to see some drug use? You want to see some slanging of some dope? Go to one of these white frat houses. Go to one of these white campuses and you will see some dope. You will see some drugs. Hard drugs. But you know what? The police are there and the police know what's going on. And what do? Not a damn thing. They let it go. Why? Because mom and daddy paid their good money. It's only when things get too out of hand, they just contain that mess. You will see, you go to college and you will see people all out in public, intoxicated, walking, and the police will pull up. They ain't about to arrest everybody. The only reason they came is because somebody called. But it's all kind of drugs being used. And they know that. But they ain't trying to really crack down on those drugs on no college campus. But when it comes to some Negroes, when it comes to man trying to sell some dope because his mom about to get kicked out, he can get you. And again, I'm not advocating, I'm not justifying any breaking of this law selling drugs. That's not what I'm doing. What I am saying is that they target certain people. And we have become a disposable, permanent second-class group. And then I'm going to leave that alone. But that says something about the situation, brothers and sisters. That says something about the situation. Also, a high poverty rate in a country such as this, we have roughly 14% poverty rate, which is 43 million people in poverty. Then you got another 100 million near poverty. So you got 1/3 of the U.S. population in poverty or near poverty when it's supposed to be the richest nation in the world. And so many of those people are us, even though we built the country. You got to add what the median wealth for a black family is roughly $1,000, and for a white family, comparable is $100,000+. How did it get like that? But how you got so many children in the country, it says something about the moral state of the country when you have all these poor people. Go to some of these places on the West Coast, brothers and sisters. Go to some of these places where they got all these tents. They got these tent cities. You can't even live in some of these places. Black people getting pushed out of everywhere, every urban area in the country. They practically getting pushed out through gentrification. They can't afford high taxation. Can't afford to live there. But then you want to listen to somebody who's going to smile in your face and give you some hopes and some dreams about us coming together. We want to be one. We were never one. I'm going to say that again. There was never a time in American history where Negroes, everybody was just, we were just all one. You had specific movements. You had times when things were not as bad. Like right now, we live in the time of Reconstruction 2.0. People ain't paying no attention. I've been saying that. Reconstruction 2.0. Like when I was talking about you go check the archive. I said Trayvon Martin is the tip of the iceberg. What did you see after that? A bunch of police killings. Killing after killing after killing of black people. I said that was just the tip of the iceberg. Then you saw it. Reconstruction 2.0. Let something happen in this country. You're going to find out what your true position is in this republic, which is on the bottom. You're going to find out your true position, which is on the bottom. You can look at it and tell. Look at what happened so you know what's going to happen. But they don't selling dreams, selling pipe dreams. Selling pipe dreams. I think we could be one. We need to work together. What's your policy? What you gonna do for Negroes who are in a terrible state? But then again, if we don't get, it don't even matter, because if we don't get this right, if we don't turn back to our God, see, let me go, because now I'm talking about us in particular. Let me go here. Let's go to let's go to 2nd Chronicles, because it's about us getting right. This is 2nd Chronicles, the 7th chapter. That's what it is. That's what it is. Again, we have thrown out our standard of morality. You in this country, you got people, they fighting over whether or not boys can compete in girl competition. They mad because the boys beating the girls. You the one let them in there. He got all this natural testosterone. And they boys, but they racing against the girls because they done said they girls. Now clearly you can't change. Listen, I don't care what you cut off, what you add. You are still biologically whatever you were born as. And men have more strength than women. Men are faster than women. Men have a higher capacity to take in oxygen than women. I don't care how strong a woman is. She's not stronger than the strongest man. Nowhere near. I don't care what it is. I seen a woman, they were talking about this one. I was watching some, it was like some fitness thing. I guess she's supposed to be the strongest woman. They was, oh, this is the strongest woman. She squatting this. I'm like, it was some weight, but I'm like, man, I know a lot of people that can squat that. They ain't nowhere near the strongest man. I'm like, that ain't too far from what I can squat. But she the strongest woman. But you let them in there. That show you what the state of the union is. And that's why y'all, I'm gonna keep it real. That's why y'all getting knocked out all over the country. Man, it's crazy. Everything out of order. So men don't know they men, women don't know they women. So women walking up on men. What is you? I know I'm way up now, but this is the state of the union. Since I'm talking about it. And I don't advocate hitting no woman at all. But why would you walk up on a man? What are you thinking about? And then when you get laid out, now it's a national story because everybody got the phone. They'll ignore when you slap the man, when you spit on the man, when you hit the man, and then he respond and you get laid out like some carpet. Then they wanna now they put an APB out on the man. They got to find this man. Well, hold on. The reality is the woman is the weaker vessel. And she should be shown honor. But she need to show that honor back. We got everything upside down. We got things upside down. Second Chronicles, the 7th chapter. Back to our people, because what we need to do, because we can go after these politicians and give our $2. We don't even know how to do politics right. You buy these politicians. You buy these politicians like you buy shoes, like you buy a car, like you buy some Flame Out Hots from your local store that you don't own. You buy these politicians. That's how you control them. Black people we just vote and think that's gonna be enough, and we barely do that. You tell them what you're gonna do, and you give them the money, and that's how they do it. You be wondering why they ain't doing what we said to do because you don't own them. Somebody else do. That's unfortunate. You talking about equal rights is what women wanted to. That is true. That is what they want, but they don't understand. See, what they want is extra rights. I'm not talking about all women. I'm talking about women who act in this manner. It's not even all feminists, but it sounds like I've heard just foolishness. I'll give you another example of how things are messed up. People talking about the gender gap in pay, that does not exist. That don't exist. When you break that down and look at why women get paid less, or sometimes when women get paid less, it's because of a whole bunch of factors that have nothing to do with gender. Have nothing to do with gender. What people want, this reality is this is about power. And the irony is the only way they get power and overtake men is if men allow it. Because the reality is, man, it sounds bad, but the reality is that men built civilization. Men built civilization. Women did not build civilizations. When you look at civilizations, they were built by men. You look at our communities that we're ahead of everybody else as far as our people in tossing out men and saying they disposable, right? Pushing men to the side. I come in contact with people, women in particular, and they have to be so rough and hard, and because they got kids and they got to work and they got to hold everything down and can't be the feminine creature that they were made to be. You done took the man out the home. If the man not in the home, the pole to the tent is removed. That's a tarp. That's not a tent. That's not a dwelling. That's a tarp. That's what you got in these homes. You got tarps. You got a mess. Now your kid is upset. He's lashing out. Your girl is out there looking for love in the wrong places. Why? Because the tent is not there. The protection is not there. The security is not there. That's the moral state. We have done away with marriage. We done away with the sanctity of human life. We done put marriage to the side. How in the world you gonna fight? Let's just put this in perspective. How in the world you gonna fight and be a formidable opponent in this struggle they call life as a group if your men are homosexual and feminized? How you gonna, why all your warriors locked up? That's our state. That's our state. But Second Chronicles says, so politics is not gonna help you. Your original problem, again, this back to our people, the original problem is somebody said scared to get married. You better use wisdom. You better use wisdom out here. Second Chronicles, the 7th chapter and verse 12. It's all messed up. We didn't got talking about the state of the union. We don't even know how to be men and how to be women. Second Chronicles, the 7th chapter and verse 12. It says, and the Lord appeared to Solomon by night and said unto him, I have heard thy prayer and have chosen this place for myself for an house of sacrifice. This is when he confirmed what Solomon prayed. He talked about if his people would go be cast into captivity, and if they acknowledge their sins in the land in which they dwell as captives, that you will hear their prayer. He said, if I shut up heaven that there be no rain, or if I command the locusts to devour the land, if I send pestilence among my people, if my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and will heal their land. He didn't say if you just vote for Kamala Harris or Cory Booker or Jesse Jackson or Barack Obama or Al Sharpton. He didn't say that. He didn't say you better vote Democratic, Republican, Independent. He said Libertarian. He said if my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face. That's your power source. Our power source is with the Creator. That's our God. And that's the power source we as a people need to tap into. Because if you didn't understand, if you don't realize that this ship is sinking, you ain't paying attention. If you don't realize that this ship is sinking, you are not paying attention. You are not paying attention. You looking for some merciful white man to come and save you as a people. That's what we look for as a people. Who gonna come through the neighborhood and save us? Man, I'm all over the place. I'm just thinking about the pandering to our people. We want to look at somebody as if they gonna say, we want to look, oh, he played the saxophone on Arsenio Hall. He must be the one. He put your butt in jail. 3 strikes you out. President Obama, he pandering to black people singing Al Green, dancing on Ellen. Nah, he didn't do nothing for you. Hillary Clinton, you want to vote for her because she got hot sauce in her purse. But she supported those policies from her husband and called you super predators. The children super predators. And now Kamala Harris dancing to Cardi B, trying to appeal to your foolishness. You looking for that? You need to be looking to the Lord. We need to acknowledge our sin as a people. See, we got a spiritual problem. We need to acknowledge our sin as a people. Repent, turn from it, and seek our God. That's what we need to do as a people. That's the remedy. You keep voting if you want to. That's the remedy, brothers and sisters. That's the remedy. And with that, brothers and sisters, I want to remind you, we at the House of Faith meet every Sabbath at 5925 West 25th Avenue. At 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. Peace to everybody that's listening. And it's all praise to the Most High. If there was any edification, I know I was dealing with a wide range of things. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, we live stream every Sabbath at 5925 West 25th Avenue. We live stream right here on the Israel Teach YouTube channel. We meet at 5925 West 25th Avenue. Yes, thank you, brother. Hit the like button. Yes, appreciate you. Hit the like button. And What else? We live stream here as well as on israelteach.org, which is our website. What's your question? If you want to type your question, you can, or if you want to send it through email, if it's private, something like that. You know, we have a sister that will screen. All praise to the Most High. The sister will screen. She'll let me know, and then I will answer it. That's the K Holmes. I don't know if you want to answer this or ask it now. Or you want to send it through email. You let me know though. K Holmes, you want to ask your question, or you want to ask it? You want to answer right now? You want to ask it through email? Or even if you call the number in the description, we can get back to you. It's above. It's above what? I'm sorry, I wasn't reading all these. What's your question? You say above, or you mean above? Wait, hold on. Oh, hold on. You got a couple things. I ain't see none of this. I wasn't reading this like that. Listen, I don't know which party, because you said a couple things. Is it okay? I think your question is, why in the world we basically suffering for our forefathers? Okay, so we suffer. You can go back further than that. We suffering for what Adam did. Okay, so just like in your life, let's say hypothetically, I'm not saying you, but let's say hypothetically, your father was on crack, right? He used to smoke crack, and he never was able to kick that habit. And because he was addicted to crack, your mother suffered financially, and all these terrible things happened to your family because he smoked crack. So you suffered as a result of what your fathers did. Okay. Now, when it comes to individual salvation, your father and what he may or may not have did ain't got nothing to do with that. What your mother had to do ain't got nothing to do with that. Now, when you look at us as a nation, so when you look at even us as a nation, you look at Daniel. Daniel was righteous, but he was still in captivity, wasn't he? Daniel was a righteous man, but he was in Babylonian captivity. Why? Because of what the nation did. But what did he do? He started praying, facing Jerusalem, as we read in 2 Chronicles. If you would have kept reading, we would have read it in chapter 6. It talks about praying towards that place, right? When we go into captivity, because that's what we need to do as a nation to get out of it. It's something that happened to us as a nation. It's just like if you live in a country and the country is war torn, you're going to suffer the consequences for that. But that don't have anything to do with who you are as an individual person. That's largest consequences for things that have been passed on. So I say all that to say certain things can be passed on. Okay, you suffer for that. Just like how if it's something good, you could benefit from it, right? So had we been keeping the law, statutes, the commandments of God, you wouldn't be saying, man, why are we so blessed as a people? We so blessed as a people because what your forefathers did and what they continue to do. And now you reap the benefits of. You see people like that. People inherit money, right? People inherit poverty too. But people inherit money. The president, he was given quite a nice chunk of change from my understanding when he was younger, right? Father had some money. You don't think that helped him in his life? Absolutely. You look at his kids. This kids are in a great position. Why? Because he had money. So we can look at it and say, well, why are we still cursed? I don't understand. We still sinning against God as a nation. So we're going to continue to be cursed. We're going to continue to be cursed because we sinning as a nation. But then you got some people who try to do it right. But that's not the nation as a whole. So the Lord can bless you individually and look out for you and care for you and protect you. But, so that's what it is. All right. All praise to the Most High, if you understand it. With that, I'm going to leave you, brothers and sisters. It's always my prayer that you were edified.